Hello everyone and welcome to your second royal reading today, a Wednesday here at MadWorldTarot. I'm looking today at a couple of very interesting pieces by Ian Pelham-Turner, who is now presenting as a royal expert, a royal insider, and writing for the Express and the Mirror in the UK. He was a royal photographer, I gather, been around the block a few times, and suddenly has surged to the forefront of royal insiders and commentators with some rather strange stories. We've had a look at the one about Prince William allegedly being ready to agree to a trade-off. Andrew out has been in. We just looked at that one. This reading is also Ian Pelham-Turner, also in that context of Harry's on his way back, conversations are happening, it's all happening. Not only Harry, but the entire Sussex family, according to Ian Pelham-Turner. Meghan as well. And he goes on to tell us that Meghan is a world leader. I'm quoting, I'm not making this stuff up, I'm quoting his actual words. If they, meaning royal commentators, unlike Ian Pelham-Turner, of course, if they just stopped attacking her and let her calm down, all their fault, of course, she would rise to the top ranks, right? She would rise to the top ranks. Now, this is quite a turn because we've heard so far that she's living her best life in California, and if Harry goes back to Britain, that's the end of that. We've had divorce threats in the past few months. We've had all kinds of threats. Suddenly, in the past day or so, we're hearing this. Meghan is a world leader. If they just stopped attacking her and let her calm down, she would rise to the top ranks. How desperate is she? Celtic Cross coming up with the Royal Heart Tarot, Rebel Heart, sorry. Oh, that was a Freudian slip. Wow. The Rebel Heart Tarot on the tarot table. It's very Meghan energy. What is going on with Madame? We know that she's been mocked mercilessly for her holiday special on Netflix. She looked terrible at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. The photos were taken down. I know there's a whole theory that this is all fun and games for reality TV, for Hulu, whatever. She didn't look good. Her stock isn't being, well, her products, her as ever products aren't being stocked in the Netflix bricks and mortar stores, which are being opened currently at a couple of places in the United States. She's managed to force a little cameo in a movie, a straight to video kind of a movie, if we can use that oldie worldie speak about movies. Things are looking bad for Meghan Markle if she suddenly, through Ian Pelham-Turner, telling us that if you just said nice things about me, I'd come back and I'd be the best royal that ever royaled. That's how it's reading to me. Celtic Cross coming out. What is going on? Tarot, of course, fun and entertainment. All my opinion, all speculation, and disclaimer in the box below. Some squishing involved. There's always squishing involved on the tarot table. What is going on with Madame? Oh dear, we've got the Five of Wands as our underlying energy. That's the competition card, the greasy pole. When it comes to Meghan Markle, it's very greasy, that pole. That brought a horrible mental image to mind, which we will erase immediately. Five of Wands is about competition. It's about fighting, scrapping for dominance. It's about being the top, rising to the top ranks. If they would just say nice things about her instead of criticizing her, she would royal better than, of course, the Princess of Wales, who would need Princess Kate or Kitty, as she's often described in certain circles where we suspect Meghan and her minions are busy with their poison pens, in my opinion, and there was no need for Kitty. Kitty can go and sit quietly wherever she's sitting in her cheap motel away from William and the children. And I'm being very snarky, but those are the kinds of rumours that go round, and Meghan would be top. So it's coming from a place of real ambition and aggression, in my opinion. This is how the energy is reading, to be top dog, top royal dog. What's going on with Madame? Heart of the reading. Another 5. 5s are change and conflict, destabilizing energy. 5 of Swords. She's having a rough time. The criticism is getting to her. It really is. It seems like she's impervious to criticism because she doesn't learn how to cook, she doesn't acquire table manners, she doesn't learn how to iron clothes or dress properly or wear the proper underwear. So we all assume that she's not noticing any of the stuff, brush her daughter's hair, dress her in something other than pajamas, put shoes on her, that sort of thing. Any of those things, nope. Doesn't do it, but she's feeling it. 5 of Swords. That for me is reading. It's a conflict card and change. She's gone from a more stable energy to a rattled energy. It's reading as rattled, as narcissistic injury. We could talk in those terms. That whatever has been going on in her world, and it's not been pretty recently, some people are talking about the worst week ever for Harry and Meghan. This is where she is. So what's her particular problem? She's in that 5 of Swords energy right now. What's her particular grievance, her particular challenge? 3 of Cups in reverse. I think the fallout from that party, from Kris Jenner's 70th, is still smarting. That's a party, and isn't it interesting? We've got pink leggings, 2 children with their backs to us. Not just the party, because of the artwork on that card. If it was just a standard 3 of Cups, which is friendship and parties and having a good time, hanging out, enjoying yourself, I would say it's the party and only the party. But I think it's more than that that has set her off in this path to back as a working royal. It's everything. It's the trick-or-treating, it's the screeching in the home cinema when they were watching that game and Harry was slumped in the chair. It's Lily running through the garden and people are saying nasty things about barefoot and hair and whatever else. It's everything. It's cumulative. It's the Thanksgiving stuff that she's sticking up on Instagram at the moment, and the holiday special stuff that she's putting up, which is so terrible on so many levels. Latest being the outrage with the turkey. She's glazing it with her sage honey long after it's come out of the oven and is sort of sitting congealing somewhere. It's grotesque and it's hurting her. She's very hurt. She's wounded that people aren't liking her celebrations. She's like, to me, her energy comes across as a tween who's been let loose in mother's kitchen while mother's away, and it's her first attempt at cooking. That's how her energy is coming across in this card. So what's going on behind the scenes? A real motive deep down. What's going on that's causing this in Pelham Turner moment? High Priestess. She wants to elevate herself. The High Priestess is high, and I don't mean in that sense, the Harry sense. I mean it in the sense of mysterious. She's got a certain cachet about her. Meghan has reduced herself down to the level, lowered herself down to the level of the Kardashians. And I think that for her it was aspirational at some point in her life. Now she's looking at it and realizing, too late, that hanging out with them has lost her all her mystery, all the stuff that comes with the title of Duchess. All gone. And she now is trying to claw it back by telling us that she's a world leader. She really is. And if you would just stop saying nasty things about her, she'd be able to show you. She'd rise to the top of the royals and oust everyone else. That is the part that's left out of this quote, which I am putting in myself. Those are my words, not Meghan's or Ian Pelham Turner's. So, what's her goal? The Hermit. An interesting card, because the Hermit is about retreat, isolation, withdrawing from the world. She doesn't want to withdraw from the world. She's working on Harry through this somehow. And I hadn't thought that through at all. I'd been so mesmerized by all this rising to the top rank stuff that I didn't realize that the first person she's got to convince of this is actually Harry. He's the Hermit. He's the Virgo. Major Arcana for Virgo, the Hermit. She's got to convince Harry that she's the best that ever roiled. And convince Pa to let her back now, while Pa still has power, and stop the criticism, shut the press down, shut those nasty YouTubers down, and the people on X and the people on Reddit and wherever else, and let her just be her magnificent self. She has to convince him to take her along with him. Interesting, refer back to the previous reading, Ian Pelham Turner again. What would Harry's return look like, that trade-off? Harry doing some royal engagements, and not just Harry, the entire Sussex family would be there. Madame as well. Operation Bring Harry Home was all about bringing Harry home. Wasn't about bringing Meghan back. Oh no, no. This is Meghan. What's happened to put her in this position of great misery? The Strength card in reverse. That's her card as a Leo, Major Arcana. She's failed, and she's failed quite spectacularly. She thought that she was in a very dominant position, that she was strong, she was glorious, she was the heart of everything. Everyone was admiring her and worshipping her, and she's looking like a fool. Strength in reverse. She's looking pathetic, weak, pitiful. Everything that she has done, I've forgotten all the Paris stuff and the New York stuff and the Washington stuff and all the silly interviews. She was in our faces for months. Lost track of all the stuff that she's done. It led to ridicule and humiliation. Quite the opposite of what she thought it would do. She wasn't thinking Operation Bring Meghan back to being royal. She was thinking fashionista, film star, founder, all the rest of it, billionaire. But oh dear, all failed. Terribly humiliating for her. Strength in reverse. What's she going to do next, or what is going to happen to her next? We've got the Lovers. Some love bombing going on there. I would guess the recipient is mostly Pa with that energy. She's going to be love bombing Harry as well. Their relationship is over. It's dead. It's beyond redemption, in my opinion. But she's going to be trying her damnedest to love bomb the king, Harry, very much Harry. You can't go back to the UK without me. You'll never cope. Remember, they hate you. They're awful to you. You need me to claw at you and surge ahead of you when we meet people and shake hands. I'm the only one that can guide you through this. You'll never cope without me. That's going to be happening. This is near term. Don't forget Prince William. There's going to be some attempt at love bombing Prince William as well. We got Christmas coming up, and I always had a weird sense that we are going to see them in the UK over Christmas. Not just Harry, but possibly also Meghan, possibly the kids. Be warned, the Lovers in our incoming energy. How does she feel about returning to the royal fold in whatever capacity? How does she feel? 10 of Swords in reverse. It's the worst thing that could happen to her. That's 10 of Swords. But the worst thing that could happen to her has already happened. Strength in reverse over there. So she's now seeing it as offering her a chance at redemption, because the card is in reverse. This is her last chance to salvage something from the wreckage. 10 of Swords is ruin and defeat, and in reverse it's just starting to come back to life after that terrible calamity. that ended all your hopes and dreams, her hopes and dreams. So she sees it as something that's really, truly awful, but she can't think of anything else to do right now. I can't imagine the vibe in Montecito if that's truly where she lives. What pressure is she under from outside? Six of Swords. She needs to move. And maybe quite literally, because the Six of Swords is the moving overseas card. Travel, and very often international travel. Traveling to get away from something, from conflict. We've got the Five of Swords, the heart of this reading, somewhere in there, and all the squished cards. There it is. Then comes the Six. Six of Swords is, I want to put my troubles behind me, all this conflict, all this nasty stuff, all this criticism that I've been experiencing, and I want to go somewhere where it just calms down. If that has to be under the royal umbrella again, then I'm off. My sense of that Six of Swords is that Montecito itself, Santa Barbara, even possibly LA, the whole of California, maybe even New York, maybe even the United States, has become so difficult for her that maybe she's so ostracized. And I know we saw her at Kris Jenner's birthday party with Jeff Bezos and Oprah and everyone, but nobody really wanted their photos taken with her. And apparently she had to scrounge an invite through Serena Williams or someone. That's the rumor. No one really knows. But my sense is that she's such an outcast. She's such a pariah. She's so loathed. She's failed. Apparently the stuff at the godmother's bookstore isn't selling. Her stock, her entire stock, she seems to have dumped on them of all her as ever merch, not moving. Apparently the bookstore itself is in trouble. So she might be the death blow for them as well. Nothing's working. She needs to go somewhere else. Where else can she go but back to Britain? Can't go to Portugal. Fergie's there. Oops. Allegedly, although now Switzerland I'm hearing. I don't know. Hopes and fears for Madame. Four of Cups in reverse. This is the do-over card when it's in reverse. Upright, it's now bored, can't be bothered. Rejection energy as well. In reverse, I'll try a bit harder. Give me another chance at this thing and I'll do better. I'll give it more vavum. I will strive a bit. I will pretend to be interested. When I'm at a retirement home for actors, thespians, I won't look so bored. I'll think of 3 questions to ask them instead of only the one, how long have you been here? I'll wear better clothes. Outcome for her. Is she going to rise to the top ranks? Knight of Wands. She's going to try her luck with this. Knight of Wands is Harry's energy. And this really depends very much on what Harry can manage to squeeze out of Pa while Pa is still around. Because that's him. That's the roving prince with the red hair, the Knight of Wands, hot-headed, impetuous, erratic, unreliable, all about the drama, all about the entitlement, and making scenes wherever he goes, surging from place to place, popping up in various places. She's going to be clawing onto him, so everything rides on their relationship. That's why we've got the Lovers in the immediate aftermath of her current narcissistic injury, in my opinion, of course. I'm not diagnosing, I'm speculating for entertainment purposes. So trying their luck, and I get this quite a lot at the moment, this trying their luck energy. Not down and out, not just yet, but it's all riding on how much Harry can do. And this is why he's doing these trips to Canada, and this is why they're throwing out there that they're going to be going to Australia, or they would love to be going to Australia. It's that kind of energy. Knight of Wands is an international travel card. It's a bit military. It's, look, I'm the most popular royal that ever royaled. It's all of that. It all rides on Harry and his willingness to tow her along in his wake. Everything depends on that. So she's not down and out just yet. She's well on her way, I would say. That's the reading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.